everyone, welcome to another Overrated Film Saturday, and today I'm going to be discussing a film that is, I think, fairly popular. It has received positive as well as negative criticism, and I tend to agree with the negative criticism more than I agree with the positive criticism that this movie receives. And as you can see by the title, this movie is Something About Mary, starring Cameron Diaz and Ben Stiller. Oh my gosh, where to begin with this movie? I remember recording this film and trying to watch it because the title is that something about title that's kind of catchy, and it's something I don't know that I think people remember a lot. Or when Harry Met Sally, that kind of thing. I think can captivate an audience for like a romantic comedy-based film. So I thought, okay, might as well give it a shot. I couldn't sit through the entire thing. Literally halfway, I was like, I don't care where this is going. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't care. And the reason why I didn't care is because I thought that there was one way too much lowbrow humor. And what I mean by lowbrow humor is that often films, sometimes in particular comedies, like to really poke fun at men sometimes, and I feel so sorry that this is kind of the case, but it seems like they like making fun of male insecurities or certain pains that men go through. Like, for example, you see a man getting kicked in the private parts, and then people start laughing, and automatically people start laughing, and I think to myself, okay, yeah, that must have looked like it hurt, but we don't need to see this. First off, we don't need to see this multiple times on end in various different films. And we don't need to see, someone like suffering and then, somehow kind of laughing at it. I mean, at least that's how I feel that this movie was trying to approach the whole sort of male insecurity thing that I think a lot of comedies like to poke fun at. And literally the starting of this movie, we literally start with one of those kinds of private parts in pain jokes, where basically Ben Stiller is trying to get his fly to be unstuck. I don't think I need to go any further than that. It's just not funny to me. that kind of humor is just not funny. Just sitting there trying to have him figure out how he can get, his zipper to work. I mean, how is that amusing? I don't get how that's funny. And it really does feel like, that comedy aspect of, kicking a guy in the private parts. I mean, it feels that same way because, again, it is emphasizing the fact that he is in pain. And, I mean, he feels like he's in legitimate pain. And I almost felt uncomfortable watching it. I was kind of like, okay, that must be, that's just, it kind of grossed me out a little bit. Just the idea of somebody being in that kind of insecure pain. Because usually you don't see this happen to women at all within filmmaking. You don't see them being physically hurt and then somebody laughing at it. But when a man is, yeah, we laugh, and it's kind of sad how a lot of films have done this over the years, and how we sort of stigmatize the father figure, kind of, and there's a lot of, dumbing down of father figures within television and so on and so forth. So I think um, this this aspect of the film is what really started off bothering me. Just this whole joke, and they take this joke so far. It's like, okay, please end this joke. Just have him zip up his fly already. For Christ's sake, stop torturing me with this joke, please. And the movie wouldn't stop. It just kept going, and I just thought, oh my gosh, how long are we going to have to sit through this? And it's all for the purpose and sake of one joke, because at the end of the day, that's really the joke. Oh, he can't get his fly up, and oh, he's in pain because he has it stuck somewhere, and it's just, I'm sorry, but that really bothered me. And there's a lot of lowbrow humor for a lot of the male characters in this film. A lot of the male characters in this film are really unlikable. Besides Ben Stiller, I mean, all the people that are chasing Mary, who again is played by Cameron Diaz, they're really, like, there's one guy that's a complete stalker. Like, he completely stalks her and tries to win her over, and it's just uncomfortable and just very strange, and it doesn't. It just feels like that. It feels like that all of the male characters are after her for some reason, and there's really no explanation as to why this is. I mean, yes, Cameron Diaz is good looking, I guess, to them, but at the same time, it's like there's so many other, like, women out there. Like, why is she the only person that people find attractive? Like, I don't understand this world that they try to set up. It's really strange. It's a very odd film. At least to me, it feels really odd, and again, it's not the fact that they use, the lowbrow humor, but they pretty much use the same lowbrow kind of humor throughout the entire movie. So the entire movie is one, basically orgy of this lowbrow humor, of this haha male insecurity, like haha look at Ben Stiller, he's such a nerd with his braces, and just having us like laugh at that. I don't know, it just feels so it just feels so gross. It doesn't feel like something that I could genuinely laugh at. And then just the fact that they overboard the sexual jokes, the fact that they overboard the whole concept of the movie, which really in and of itself isn't A, all that realistic, and B, not really something that usually people will experience or really go through. Because, I mean, again, he pretty much tries to go and find this woman that he hasn't seen in years, and it's just so strange because you don't. Usually it just doesn't feel natural. It feels like they're trying to artificially make this relationship between Mary and Stiller work. And, it's just, it bothers me so much. This whole, the whole gross out humor, the stalking, the trying to make something work even though it's so out there, and again, this isn't a fairy tale, this is literally a comedy, a romantic based comedy, and they're not treating it as that. And oh my gosh, it's just so completely to me it's just it's not really funny. I mean, I don't laugh at all. I didn't laugh a single moment throughout this entire movie. And already, and again, this was a film where I literally stopped watching it. And I think a lot of it was really rather boring too, because again, nothing really funny was happening. It was just a bunch of kind of just really so quasi-degenerate dudes going after this one girl, and you really feel uncomfortable watching it because you're like, oh my, oh. It feels like it feels like a stalker film rather than a genuine love or romantic comedy. It doesn't. It just it's just so weird. And I mean, I guess that's maybe what people had the appeal for, because it's not like other romantic comedies. But see, the thing is I think you could do this and make it a lot smarter than they did it. And I think at the end of the day, there was just a lot of, I just felt kind of grossed out, like, watching it, and I felt dumber watching it. So I just decided, okay, I can't do this anymore. I'm not going to put myself through it. And all of the overrated films that I've mentioned, I've actually watched them all the way through. I've actually did see them all the way through, or seen parts of them all the way up to the end. This one, I don't even know the ending. I don't even want to know the ending. I don't even really care, because at the end of the day, the way that it set itself up was just, yeah, this is what we're going to offer you. And to me, it was just kind of disturbing. Just a little bit tad disturbing. And the fact that, you know, they're really, really upping the laughs of these male insecurities, and, you know, like, really not doing anything smart with them, and trying to bring in some kind of maybe commentary. It's all just this low-brow sex jokes, and somehow incorporating it into something else, and then somehow that's funny. And it was just hard to sit through. It was just something that I wasn't really a huge fan of. I didn't really care for the characters. I didn't really find Mary's character to be all that likable. Ben Stiller, again, I would say is probably the most likable of the characters. Although you on the one hand, you feel bad for him that he had this opportunity when he was in high school, but then he wasn't able to live up to it. And then, you know, having him go out there and try to, you know, do something different. But the thing is that it happened so long ago, and then to try to somehow rekindle something that almost wasn't even there to begin with. I don't know. It just feels very forced. A lot of the romance in this film feels very forced. Especially considering the fact that most of the men that want Mary are just a bunch of stalkers. Oh, they're just a bunch of stalkers, and I don't get it. I really don't. But I think that's really all I can say about this film in a nutshell. I think I understand if people do like this film. I do understand if they find some appeal to the lowbrow humor, or find the sex jokes funny. But to me it was just unbearable to sit through. I couldn't do it, and I couldn't find myself enjoying this film. And I think it is overrated because of the fact that it took such a really twisted sort of turn with it, and labeled it as funny. And to me, disturbing does not equal funny. It equals disturbing. So that's why I think it's one of those films that just does not gravitate towards me. And I think as a result, it is overrated and way too emphasized, especially with these jokes that really are just long running jokes that don't amount really to much. And then you think, like, okay, where is this really going? And you really don't care at the end of the day, because this film doesn't really want you to kind of care about the characters. It's almost like it wants you to care about the kind of humor that it's offering. And oh, I just couldn't stand it. I'm sorry. I just couldn't stand it. And I understand if there's people who do enjoy this film. It's nothing against your opinion. This is just mine personally, and I feel like that this film was just one that I couldn't sit through. You couldn't get me to sit through this film again, and so I think that's why I put it into this overrated category, because it seems like there's a lot of people who do enjoy it, but I am of the little minority that kind of just says, no, I don't. But if you do, I understand. But I think that's really ultimately all I can say about the film in general. It's trying to be, so quasi, haha, let's laugh at male insecurities, and let's laugh at, male problems with women, and, it just doesn't do, I just don't think it executes itself well, and what it's trying to do, so, but I think that's really all I can say. But if there are any questions, comments, concerns, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Again, this is not against anybody who enjoys this film or their opinion. It's just personally, in my opinion, I feel like the reasons I've explained really demonstrate my dislike for it. But I understand if there's people out there who enjoy it for the very reasons why I don't like it. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day, week, month, and year. And I hope to see you all in the next video. Goodbye.